What?
Good. All right, good evening. It is 5:45. It's a public hearing for fiscal '24 budget. I'd like to call the meeting to order and acknowledge that the press and public have been duly notified of the meeting in accordance with the Freedom of Information Act. We are looking at ordinance 2022-07, an ordinance to raise revenue and adopt a budget for the city of Isle of Palm, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 23 and ending July 30th, 2024. Ms. Fergoso?
Well, here we are again. This is a public hearing for FY24 budget. We have a very ambitious work plan for the rest of the year, so I'm very excited to go through some of the key budget initiatives by department, so bear with me. I'll try to keep it very high level, some of the most impactful new initiatives that we're planning on doing this year. So for FY24, total revenues are projected to be $26,264,000, which is approximately 17% increase from FY23. These increases are attributable to a $2.2 million grant that we received from ARPA funds that are being assigned to for the construction of the public dock and the Waterway Boulevard path and additional drainage work. There is an increase of about $800,000 in tourism revenues, an increase of $700,000 for licensing and permitting revenue, and about $200,000 due to the increase to the short-term rental license base fee of $100. The proposed budget does not include an increase to the operating millage and assumes a decrease to the debt service millage due to the Recreation Center bond maturing earlier this year.
Desiree, you want to hit that again?
Proposed budget does not include an increase to the operating millage and assumes a decrease in the debt service millage, and this will result in about $200,000 of savings in property taxes for residents. Leave it to Debbie, her last budget with the city, not only no increase, but actually a reduction.
Like it.
The general fund revenues are budgeted at $13.9 million, which is about 8% more than FY23. Expenditures are 8% higher than FY23, mostly due to 10 new positions that we're funding in this upcoming budget. Total personnel costs represent 70%. Short-term, a peer and tourism coordinator that we're cost sharing with Explore Charleston, and a finance analyst position in the general government, and a second code enforcement officer in the police department. Transfers in from the tourism funds to the general fund are projected at $1.5 million, which is a 21% increase in last year. We're being a little bit more aggressive in using tourism funds for projects. So three in the total tourism conservatively projected at $8.6 million, which is about 90% of recent 12-month actuals. There are no new debt issues included in this budget. I'm going to go through some of the initiatives by department. First, we'll start with general. We include a provision for 2.5% of wage adjustments. We also include a provision of $15,000 study that we did in 2021 to ensure that we remain competitive in wages island-wide. We also include about $56,000 in to support the city's tuition reimbursement program. We currently have 5 employees participating and pursuing degrees in higher education through this program. We also have multiple employee engagement events throughout the year. A new citizen engagement software that uses text messaging and web chat technology to facilitate efficient and timely communications between the city and the residents, and this is directly tied to one of the strategic priorities for the city's strategic plan. We have, we continue funding initiatives recommended by the Environmental Advisory Committee, including glass recycling, smart composting, And they also include a provision of $15,000 for any additional projects or initiatives by the committee. We include funds for the construction of the new public dock and green space at the marina. Also about $1.25 million for us to begin planning, design, and construction of renovations to the City Hall building, to reconfigure our space, make space for additional staff, and hopefully consolidate both departments in one floor to improve service delivery for residents and visitors. We continue to fund an annual monitoring of the entire shoreline of the beach and funds to begin the permitting and design of the shoal management project and the next offshore beach renourishment project. We talked about that at length at the workshop meeting last couple weeks ago. We also have funds for the permitting and design of the marina dredging project, which is funded, as you all know, by a $1.5 million grant from the state. We've included $250,000 for the city to continue adding ADA compliant beach walkovers around the island, very similar to what we did at 34A. And just as a reminder, the city submitted a grant, a budget request to the state for $500,000 to support our efforts at doing this. A big project that we have slated for this coming budget is the construction of a new emergency vehicle access path next to the county park, and this would allow us to avoid utilizing some of the beach access paths that maybe have dune systems that are more vulnerable. We also include the expenditure of the construction for the improvements of the Waterway Boulevard multi-use path. As a reminder, the city submitted a grant to FEMA, and we should know by early next year whether or not the city is successful in this allocation. However, should the city not be successful, we would have the funds to go ahead and start that project either then or earlier, depending on whatever council decides. For the building department, we have a $30,000 provision to install a new permitting and licensing system to make it better and more user-friendly for not only the staff, but also folks that are submitting and requesting permits and licenses through the city. We continue the agreement with Rentalscape for short-term rental management and compliance, and we've added a $35,000 provision for additional analytical software tools to support our operations. For the fire department, as we all know, the largest initiative in this year is implementing a paramedic program. That includes adding 6 personnel, 2 per shift, and this will not only help in our service delivery when responding to emergency medical services, but also support the operations of our team in any calls that they receive throughout the year. We also include significant investments in technology for the fire department to include additional computers to accommodate online training requirements and a new accountability software to assist our battalion chiefs with firefighter accountability on an incident scene. For the police department, in addition to the initiatives that City Council recently approved to enhance beach safety and surveillance, we've also included the installation of an automatic license plate reader at the connector, the purchase of a second radar sign for traffic control, and we've increased funds to support hiring additional deputies for traffic management during the season, in addition to our BSOs. For the recreation department, we have included $165,000 for the installation of a new outdoor fitness court. We're all going to be there getting so fit for the summer. Also include funds for new improvements to the dog park, including replacing the fence and adding new equipment for dogs to play. Several enhancements to the building, Wi-Fi at the gym and cardio rooms, upgrading the AP system in their classrooms, installing new lighting around the new pickleball courts, and of course support more than 15 events that this department puts together every year. And then lastly, Public Works, we have included funds to purchase a new Caterpillar trash loader for yard debris operations. We're not replacing our existing equipment, we're keeping it. We're just enhancing that operation throughout, as long as our current Caterpillar is operational. Also included some surveying equipment to support our efforts at being more proactive in doing in-house drainage maintenance. We also include a provision to continue our cost-sharing partnership with Dominion Energy so that we can continue to move utility lines underground. And then last but not least, we include significant investments for the installation of new drainage infrastructure, maintenance of existing infrastructure, including the completion of phase 3, which, as we all know, fall projects at 36 and 41st, and then start pursuing some of the projects identified by the Comprehensive Drainage Master Plan. Just want to say a big thank you to all the department heads for being so professional, always coming prepared to our budget meetings and making this very seamless. And then to Debbie, who is our finance director, and this is her last budget, and I'm not going to say any more because I'm going to start crying. But she will be deeply missed, and she makes this feel very easy for all of us. She does the brunt of the work, and she does it with a smile on her face, and she's going to be deeply missed. All right, are there any questions? Anybody from the public who wants to talk about our budget? All right, thank you, Mayor.
Desiree, thank you. All right, for our public hearing, there being no further business,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Off record at 5:58.
So, they don't, the writers write these notes.